HQ Extra. First episode, Daniel Beckinsale joining Wayne Healy here. Mate, we had a few gremlins, but we're up and running. So should we get started with, we might start with the Tassie.
We should get
Tassie
going,
round.
yes, 100%. And I haven't started us on Facebook yet.
Oh, okay.
So we're live on YouTube. I'm just going to have to do a shot.
So we're live YouTube, but we've still got a couple of looks like we've got a few more difficulties.
Sorry, Wayne.
That's all right, mate. Always the first episode. HQ Extra. Joining me, Daniel Beckinsale from Blendline TV, DGB Media. How are you tonight, mate?
Good. Ready to preview some HQ action from the Australian HQ world.
Yeah, well, we had 4 categories go around in the last couple of weeks, so we'll start off with Tassie. And on the 24th of February, the HQs ran at Symmons Plains. It wasn't the best a number of cars around there, but they got round. That was dominated by Andrew Toff, Otis Cordwell and Joel Rattray as well. So they pretty much, that was the qualifying of the top 3. Don't know much about those guys. I know Andrew Toff races a bit in Victoria every now and then, so not too sure. Race 1, Andrew Toff won it by 5 seconds, so it was a good clear lead. Joe Rattray, Otis Cordwell, top 3. Neville Rattray and Zach Bennett rounding up top 5. Again, race 2 though, something must have happened because Andrew Toff DNF'd.
Yep. Wasn't
there. Otis Cordwell, Joe Rattray, Neville Rattray, and then Zach Bennett was a lap down, and so I'm not sure if he's had an off or something like that. So we didn't get all the information, so I apologise that. They had a 4-round meeting, so yeah, so I'm not too sure. But race 3, Neville Rattray was the outright winner this time, so he's come from 3rd. Then Otis picked up 2nd again, Otis Cordwell, and then Zach Bennett. And the last race, well then it was Otis's turn to win another one.
He's gone back to the front.
Yeah, gone back to the front. So then we had Joe Rattray, then Neville Rattray, and then Zach Bennett in 4th spot. And that was on the 24th of February in Symmons Plains for the Tasmanian boys.
Yeah, so a good round down at Symmons. They had a decent field, I guess. They were joined by another category on the grid from what we understand. So it always is a bit of a struggle down in Tasmania, just car numbers and making it work. But
yeah, they'll probably be a little bit
see
disappointed.
A fair few of them at Nationals. They had a few good runs at the Victorian Nationals at the end of last year, so that was good to see. And hopefully we'll see a bit more of them in Victoria this year, I guess, if we get a chance to get down there with the Victorian Championship. Now, just to give everyone a bit of a spiel, I guess, about what this show's about, we should probably let people know. The idea is, it's an in-depth view at HQ Racing around the nation. We want to run some stories on HQ Racing, some results, some video content, anything that people want to send in. It's going to be run by our good friend here, Wayne Healy, as often as you can run it. Probably on each side of state rounds to begin, I assume.
And then
we'll see how we go.
As much as we can, as often as we can, to promote our HQ Racing.
So if you're an HQ racer, you want to get some news out there, send an email to Wayne Healy or a message on HQ Extra.
HQ Extra, yeah.
Facebook
you can get
page.
the HQ page, and so we're available to
Barry Cassidy's telling us it's pronounced Rattray.
Oh, Rattray, is it?
Rattray.
Oh, I apologise for that. Thank you for that. That's
there
great. We love their live input, so that's really, really good. So thank you very much for that. So we'll move on.
That's it. On to the next one.
And the same weekend we had the first round of the HQ New South Wales, the Osborne Transport HQs at Wakefield Park.
Now that was a good round.
Now we had good numbers.
Fantastic.
Not very high as numbers as we normally have in round 1, but we had good numbers.
As has been pointed out on the stream, you got a little bit sunburnt.
Well,
he was redder last week.
I left my hat out there and in the car, and back at the hotel, and got burnt. And
that's what happens.
Yeah, you do that and silly things.
Get that on the big jobs.
But I get burnt in the movies, so it wouldn't make a difference for me. But it was a great weekend. We had some some good moments, and and we'll start off. We've just let everyone know. Obviously, general meeting was cancelled for today. So the next meeting, general meeting for the HQ New South Wales is next week, and also our next race meeting is April the 6th, 7th at Sydney Motorsport Park, and also we'll let everyone know about the national titles in the Bend a bit later on during the program. But let's move on, and we'll go to qualifying. Qualifying was good.
I don't have their result for qualifying.
Oh, well.
I mean, when your top 10 is separated by a second,
yes,
it's not a bad effort. And as we were talking to Tristan Wolds down in the pits afterwards, and he qualified somewhere in the middle of the pack. I don't remember it off the top of my head. I think it was 12th or 13th maybe. He pointed out that a couple of years ago when he started racing, that would have put him on the top 2 rows of the grid. So it shows you how far New South Wales HQs and really all the HQ categories around the nation have moved in that time. Like everyone's developing and building up, and there's some quality racing. So plenty to have a look at there from round 1. We've got all the highlights next Monday night on Blendline TV. It will air at about 9 p.m. We're going to do a special double episode for the opening state round with Sports Sedans and HQ Holdens all on one show. Well, independent shows, but all on one time slot, one big 1 hour time slot, and the racing will also be on YouTube. We'll have the full races, which Wayne and I commentated earlier today. Full races coming up probably tomorrow evening from the first round of the HQs at Wakefield Park. Thanks to Osborne's Transport for coming on board again. And yes, Sydney Motorsport Park, April 6 and 7 is going to be very, very interesting. So probably something to talk about before then as well is some of the effects that circuit has. We should probably have a look at some of the details of the circuit and how an HQ goes around there quickly. But going back to Wakefield, great round. Some tough rounds for some people. We saw Dwayne Cambridge reveal that beautiful tribute livery, which he'll run for the rest of the year and hopefully take to a few, what do you call them, car shows as well. It definitely turns heads. Maybe not as much door-to-door bumping at round 2 if he can avoid it. I think Wakefield Park's small confines.
See, when you make your car look as good as that and it stands out as that, as much as you don't want it to get damaged, unfortunately motorsport racing damage happens, and as much as it looks great, it really does put a little bit of a target on your back in the sense of they don't mean to do it, but it happens and it is what it is. But going back to the qualifying and getting back to the Osborne Transport is probably one of the main reasons why the HQs have picked up their game, is mainly due to probably Brett and actually Johnny Baxter too, although he's not here. Those two boys have lifted the speed and the category up a little bit. Dwayne have also, Chris Mole's always there, and Glenn Deering and all that. So you got all those guys that have moved on up and made it a stronger category, a stronger thing. But like you said, from 1st to 11th was 1 second in it. So that's pretty good. That's pretty good. And obviously, we all know that Brett took out the
Kevin Bartlett Trophy.
The Kevin Bartlett Trophy, exactly. And that is one prestige award to win in racing. And let me tell you, very proud of Brett. Being in the HQs, it's not something that we get to see because we're not classed as a high category. We're classed as an entry-level category. So for Brett to dominate and do what he did and take that award, Brett, hats off to you, mate. Because, mate, what you've done, you lift our sport and you make it better for us. And, mate, well done. Congratulations.
Yeah, so it's been great, and we'll try to work on the volume there for you, Brett, as we try to maybe turn it up slightly just for ease of hearing for some of the HQ racers who've been trackside for such a long time. But we've been trying to deal with a little bit of echo in this room as well. A few technical difficulties before we came on air. We actually had some movement of equipment at the last moment, so we had to deal with that. But no, back to the HQs. To see Brett Osborne get an award like that, we actually caught up with him in the pits last round. We don't have the video to play here on HQ Extra tonight. It wasn't ready in time, but the pride for New South Wales HQs to be awarded that at the Cam State dinner shows the quality of racing in HQ land. I mean, he's national champion as well, so there is that aspect of what's involved. and also just the way it lifts the category. You saw everybody come out at round 1, and to a T, what was being said was, we're here to beat Brett Osborne. So he's a man with a target on his back. He enjoys it, but
he definitely enjoys the challenge.
It's great what we can do. So yeah. So, to be able to see that is great. And he took the first race victory. He started the year on a high, and he was always there or thereabouts. Like, he didn't have much in it. Of course, Chris Mole taking 2 victories, and wasn't that fantastic to see? Second and third victories all time in the category. We actually forgot about him winning at Sydney Motorsport Park when Brett Osborne blew a motor a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
So, second and third victories, and the third one, he just romped away.
Well, it was right from the start, opening lap.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened to Brett there. If there was an issue, foul plug or something like that, I'm not too sure. But give credit where credit's due. Chris got away. Chris Mole got away, and he was flying. And you can pardon the pun if you like, but you had Brett had a mole in front and a mole behind him. So
the joke wasn't good when he came up with it earlier today.
Actually,
it's still just as bad now.
The joke, if you look at some of the footage later on, when you will see the footage something later on, definitely Brett's in front and you've got 2 moles behind him.
That's
so, political correctness, I can say that because they've got 2 moles behind him. So
on the weekend, you did catch up with Jason Mole and also Harrison about their weekend so far. We've got a little interview package to play, so let's have a look at that interview now with Mole and then Harrison, what Wayne Healy did down in the pits.
It's coming. Going to catch up with Jason Mole here. Great start to the second race, mate. Tell us what happened on the restart.
Yeah, it bogged down coming out of turn 2. Mysteriously, I don't know. It felt like it just got a gut full of fuel, and as much as I tried to clutch it and clear it, it wouldn't work. So it gave Brett the run on the outside. Unfortunately, I had to sit and duck up the hill. But anyway, we tried to sort of tuck in. I tried to give him room around the top, and I think Dwayno just got a bit sideways. And fortunately, we tagged, and off we went. And so unfortunate, it's racing sometimes. Come back on, got back to 11th, I think, in the end. So got some work to do this race.
No damage to the car, no problems that leading into the third race?
No, I think we're okay. We've obviously a bit of panel damage, a bit of steering damage, but we fixed all that, so I think we're right to go. So we'll press forward and see if we can get back up there.
Looked like you held the field up a bit coming onto the straight. Was it just something you thought about, or?
Yeah, it was. I know the power these boys have got behind me. It was just a little bit of trying to get away from them, I guess, down into turn 2. Not give them that run, but something I learned from Speedway. You hold them to the line.
Always the way when someone comes in and talks over the top of you, but this is motorsport. It's carefree. Well, mate, look, good luck out there on the third race. Keep it going. Doing really well, and you beat your brother, or you nearly beat your brother. So, who's getting bragging rights at the moment?
Well, he's had a win now, and well done to him too. I ought to say, the command team and all our sponsors, we're wrapped with that. It's been a lot of hard work by all our guys all week, and we've had a week from hell trying to just getting here. We nearly weren't here, so for him to get a win is fantastic for our team and all our sponsors. I've got to get one back on him. I can't let him get away with that.
Good on you, mate. All the best for the next race.
Thanks, mate.
So we'll go catch up with Luke Harrison now, who's changed sports. He's gone from being a world champion water skier. So let's see what he thinks of motorsport racing. Young Luke Harrison here. Mate, all of a sudden you've gone into motorsport racing, but you are the current world champion water skier.
Yeah, just one of our friends brought one of these and we'll get over ski racing a bit, and we just won the world title over in Seattle in 2017, so we thought we'd buy one of these and have a go at this, and loving it. Mate,
you bought a Heinrich car. How's it going? It's the first weekend in it. You're quite comfortable in the car at the moment?
Yeah, no, it's going good. We're just first time qualifying yesterday in it, and just getting used to it still, and it's going all right.
Mate, you're pretty fearless out there. You've gone from back of the pack in race 2 to 4th, I think. Was that correct? 4th or 5th?
Yeah, 5th.
Not a bad effort.
Yeah, ended up 5th. So we got a safety car halfway through the race, and that helped me a bit. So I got on the front pack there, and just held on to them guys and see how we go in the last race.
All right, getting back to being a water skier, what was your category and what was the exact championship you won?
So I was racing junior boys. I was ages 17 and under, and we had to ski for 30 minutes plus a lap. We had 7 world selection races. I won 6 of them, and went over to Seattle in America, and won 4 of the world champion races and made me world champion.
Not a bad effort. Now you're racing HQs. This is a lot of fun though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's awesome. It's every race you're battling with someone or something's happening, so it's always fun, and everyone who races HQ is a good guy, so it's good.
It's a great club, great people around in this club. There's always someone to help you if you break down in there.
Yeah, always. People after every race, someone's coming over. If you've got the bonnet up, they're saying, "What do you need? What's wrong with it? Can we help you?" So it's good. It's awesome.
I see your dad's nice and relaxed over there. Look at him just living the dream, living the life. Hey? It's also good to have good sponsorship in it to think. You got sponsors that you would like to thank?
It's good. The club sponsors: Osborne Transport, Kerway, Gilcon, MHA, Euro, and Asset. Who else we got? Command Digital Signage.
All right, you can stop now. You got a lot more than everyone else, so that's good, mate. Enjoy the last race, trophy race coming up. Expectations are going to be high. Obviously, you're going really well. Just keep it on the black stuff, though.
Yeah, that's it. Thank you. See how we go.
All the best.
Well, McLean shows you what's coming up later on Blendline and HQ Extra. But talking to Jason Moll there, he had a great start to the weekend.
He did.
Brilliant first race, brilliant qualifying effort, was keeping Brett Osborne really honest, and was out in front at race 2 before the safety car, which is an incident we'll play a little bit later. Skipping to, who am I thinking of skipping to? Harrison.
Yep.
Skipping to Harrison.
Luke Harrison, yep.
That jump, to go from champion water skier, or still champion water skier, and then racing HQ, that's pretty.
The kid's
top
17
stuff.
too.
Yeah.
He's junior water ski champion now. Sitting on a piece of wood, getting towed behind a bit of rope 300 metres from a boat that's doing massive amounts of speed is pretty good. And then just to jump out of that, to jump in a car, he bought a Heinrich car, so it's his first time in the Heinrich car over the weekend, and was doing some great things. Look, he's a bit green, he's a bit anxious, he's out there, he's full on, and but he'll get there, he'll learn, he'll get to understand what drivers to take on and what drivers to make moves on and where to do it. That there was an incident there with McLean that where he got pushed off in race 1. Unfortunately, he had the DNF. McLean come across, but there was a bit of love tapping before that. So it was give and take, but we all know what McLean's like. We know how hard he runs. Where Luke's a bit green and a bit raw on that. So where we would have backed off a little bit and give that, we would have gone for the crossover where he got taken out.
Do you know what it's like to be that far up the field?
Occasionally I have, a long time ago. And
just saying what the people are thinking.
Yeah, well, so I used to know what it was like, but look, someone's got to be behind the camera and someone's got to be behind the steering wheel.
That's why I stay in the director's chair.
Exactly right. But at the end of the day, Luke had a DNF in race 1. Ian McLean got a penalty. It could have gone either way where nothing could have happened, but it is what it is, so we move on. But after race one was Brett Osborne, Jason Moll, Dwayne Cambridge, Dave Bruculio, Chris Moll, Glenn Deering, Matty Barker, Jason Johnson, I don't know much about, new guy, Pedro Mursic and Mark Baxter around then out the top 10, so that was a good first race.
100%.
So that wasn't too bad.
Race 2, and this is where we saw that big moment. So McLean unfortunately made contact with, Jason Johnson spun out of the fishhook, middle of the race.
Yeah.
We had a great battle going on from the lead. Jason Moll's the leader. Jason Johnson spins. Baxter pulls it up. I don't think he quite made contact, or if he did, it was a light touch.
Baxter definitely pulled up.
Then Johnson's moved forward, which you can forgive him for. He was trying to get out of the way.
But does that class as an unsafe return to the track type thing? Even though he's on that track, he makes that move where if he's
trying to get out of the way as well, though. So
I can understand that, but then
unfortunately the instant bystander was Baxter and McLean, and they came around the corner and found themselves in an accident. And McLean with it.
And that's why I say maybe if Johnson stays put, McLean goes to the inside, no dramas. But as soon as he took off, McLean had nowhere to go, hit the anchors, wheels are hooked hard but slide straight into Baxter, and unfortunately them two are the ones that miss out. That's it. And like I said, it's always the innocent people that sometimes, but that's motor racing.
That's it.
That is motor racing, that is HQ racing. It happens a lot. Unfortunately, McLean is seems to be the one always in the wrong place at the wrong time, and sometimes it happened to me where I got tagged a few years ago coming up around the back of Motorsport Park, Sydney Motorsport Park. Got tagged, ended up right in the middle before getting on the straight, and then Ian McLean had nowhere to go, and again, innocent party, and he
So what you're saying is you've taken out Ian McLean as well?
No, he's taken me out.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, again. So again, not his fault, but it happens. So people might say it's karma if he's too aggressive, but I like the way Ian races. I think he's very strong. He's an out-and-out racer, and I've got no problem with
He
him.
always puts it all on the line. And that led us to probably the biggest moment of the weekend, a bit of a wild moment for our cameraman Neil at the top of the hill. We've got some footage here which we can play, which will show us what happens as these guys make the run up the hill. So we'll just talk over this one as they come up the hill, because it's a bit of raw footage to be able to show you, probably diagnose a little bit what's happened. We might try to get a rewind on it once it plays.
Yeah, so
we're just waiting for it to play.
Just waiting for that footage to come.
So a few times ready to play. There we go. So you can see Mole comes out of the corner, doesn't get away well.
This is just after the restart.
Yeah.
So this is just from the restart. Looks like something's happened. As Jason said in an interview, he's not sure if he fouled up. A little bit of touch there. He's loose. Bang.
Racing's racing, and we can see here from he doesn't get the right little touch that Cambridge is taking the curve. He's right to try to take position. Unfortunately, both of them just got a bit loose. It's one of those things. So if we just want to back to the start of this.
Jason loses a little bit of control. Both hands go up. Jason did say that he wanted to get up because he knew they had stronger horsepower. So if he went too early, he knew that he was in trouble. So he wanted to give them as less amount of straight that he could.
It's one of those ones that it just became a race because at the time such a short start of the season. Jason Mole, Dwayne Cambridge, both had problems with that.
Yeah.
Scott Walker also had the shims fall out the front of it, which is never ideal.
No.
As you go to turn left and she pitches
no,
right.
Definitely not ideal.
So it's one of those things. But look, there was a few championship runners in race 2 who hit problems, and we'll have to see now going into the season what will happen. I mean, last year Brett Osborne won it on sheer weight of victories, but the year before he took it home because of qualifying performance.
Correct.
So it goes to show, you know.
And Chris Mull ends up winning the race too. So
brilliant result from Chris Mull.
Well, it's
absolutely fantastic.
Like you said, we didn't think that Brett Osborne. We thought Brett Osborne was going to be dominating. He didn't dominate too much on the Saturday, but on Sunday definitely Chris Mull's got him, and it's game on now. So
that's it.
But again, Chris finished 5th in race 1.
Yep.
He's had a race win here, and going into race 3, well, he wins race 3, but you look at the championship table, who's sitting on top?
Osborne, yeah.
Mr. Osborne.
as we go into round 2. Now, Wayne caught up with, he did all the work down in the pits this weekend. We had to make him work somewhere for his keep as opposed to being on holidays. Ian McLean, after that accident, was kind enough to both give us his in-car footage for use in the show, which again will be next Monday night, 9 p.m. on Aurora, Foxtel 173, for all the highlights from the opening round of the Osborne's Transport New South Wales HQ Holden Championship. But he was kind enough to have a word with you as well, Wayne, and pretty relaxed chat as well. He was more understanding, I guess, of the situation that he was in once you got to him down there.
You've got to feel for him
to be able to have a look at.
You've got to feel for anyone that comes out with damage like that, especially
100%.
you don't. It's one of those things, but it is racing.
Yep.
We both know it. We both spoke about it. His car's not in a good way, so he'll probably be looking for parts. So if there's anyone out there that's got a spare nose cone and a few things that you want to help throw his way, by all means, let people know. You can contact us and we can pass it on. But if there's anything you can do, please help out. Because like you said, sponsorship in HQ racing is not the biggest thing. Most of the guys do it off their own back. So, if there's a sponsor out there that wants to help out and also help out here in the show, we're happy to oblige. So
let's have a look at that interview with McLean now. Get a bit of an insight.
Catch up with Ian. Early exit, mate. Unfortunately, wrong place, wrong time.
Yeah, look, that's motor racing. Unfortunately, it's the way it goes. But it wasn't something we'd predicted. But a couple of guys up in front of us got tangled, blocked the track, and not really much room to move. So sadly we've tailed it off someone else, and they've ended up sort of being out for the rest of the weekend as well. So we've been getting some speed back over the weekend. We had a pretty solid car, and we've done a bit of prep over the holidays, and we're looking forward to a stronger result. Top 5 would have been great. Good plan for the weekend, but started through towards the back further than we wanted, and we're working pretty hard. But yes, bit of work ahead. It's not an easy fix, but it's something that can be done with a bit of help, and I'm lucky to have that.
Yeah, well, Stewie Spry is also a big part of the team, and both of you here this weekend. You were battling a bit of brake issues at the start. How'd you go with that? Did you actually sort that out?
Yeah, we had a compound change between last year. We unfortunately weren't able to get the same package that we used to get. So the start of the weekend we were having front brake issues. So it was sort of picking up fronts, made it quite unstable. We changed a few things as the races have gone on, and we actually got it nailed in that last session. So we're sort of working our way through, and we were hoping to have a good snapshot on where we were at. But it's definitely made the brakes much more alike to where we used to be.
You're an experienced campaigner. We've been in this game for a little while now, and this is not the first time this has happened to you, being in the wrong place at the wrong time. It sort of like wears on you, doesn't it?
Yeah, look, there's good and bad to take out of it. At the end of the day, it wasn't my lack of talent that ended up causing it. So I feel a little less unhappy that if it had been a running out of talent situation and put it into the wall. But look, it is motor racing, and no one's hurt. And at the end of the day, it is a car and it is racing. And I mean, it's been 5 years since we've had a good scratch like this. So hopefully it doesn't happen too often to me or anyone else for that matter. The category is good. It's door to door. It's pretty hard racing out there, and that's the way it should be. That's why we do it. They're not sports sedans. They're not too scared to sort of lean on each other, and they're within. I think we had 6 cars run over the line in yesterday's heat that were winning in a second. So the racing's close. It's tight. It's enjoyable, and sad to see, but we're out for the day.
Yeah, qualifying well. The top 10 cars in qualifying were under a second of the leader, so that's pretty good. Look, sponsorships are hard to get on cars like in our type of racing. Any type of person that wants to have a sponsor, cars, back up every weekend and do this kind of racing, would do it with very little sponsorship, don't they?
Oh, absolutely. Look, it's without the helpers physically that we've got, we couldn't pay to get someone to fix these cars, and without Stuart and Mark and the guys that are sort of helping us out, and sponsors sort of here and there that just chip a little bit in, it makes it possible. To be honest, we're a budget racer. The tyres that we've got on were given to us by another competitor that had done their competitive life, and we've run those for the last sort of 6 months. So we do what we can and make it all sort of happen. Look, we've like you said, been around for a while, and it's kind of always been the case that it's just sort of scratching through, and any help's a good help. Anyone in the category that's sort of there to help is equally supportive too. So it goes both ways. Financially, we've got to pay for things, and luckily we've sort of got some help there. But yeah, it's always a need.
All right, mate. Well, take her home, fix her up. Hopefully you'll be back for the next round.
We'll do our best. Look, yeah, time, effort, and money are always the issue. So we'll do our best. But yeah, fingers crossed we're able to compete.
All right. Well, there you have it. The ups and downs of motorsport racing. No matter what category you're in, unfortunately things like this happen. Whether it's your fault or not, that's motorsport.
Good interview there, Wayne.
Yeah.
Bit of an insight.
And you can see the damage on there, unfortunately. Not the best thing anyone wants to see, but it is, like you said, it is racing. It is what it is.
Yep.
I also caught up with Darren Parker. He's part of the HQ committee as well, as vice president. So we had a bit of a chat with him and see how he was doing over the weekend, just before he went out for race 3 as well. So we'll catch up with Darren Parker. Let's catch up with the footage. Darren, I can see again you're using other people as brakes. Fill me in. What's the go there?
Look, I want to apologise to Luke Harrison for giving a bit of a love tap going up through 3. So I was nice and I apologised to him, but just always the joy of starting a race. So but it's going all right. Can't complain.
What's this nice business? This is motorsport, mate. What's this? Mate. Rubbin's racing, son.
It is, mate. You're absolutely right. But there's nothing worse. Look at Ian McLean's car and see the damage that thing. It's just there's nothing great about seeing busted cars. Rubbing's racing. We sort of all know that and love it. But I can't get enough of it, mate. I love it. Love racing, against these guys and love the series. And couldn't ask for more.
Yeah, being experienced campaigner with her, and I know being in the wrong place at the wrong time. I was actually just speaking to him about it. It's shattering, but it is motorsport, So you just got to move on and hope for the best. Like, tell us a bit about the car now. You've changed the colour, and what's the go behind this?
Yeah, so the car's been going well. So it's an MIA engine from James. Had a few dramas last year with head gaskets and of all things. So put that down to the fuel tank and the breather sort of having a drama. So sorted that out. Didn't have enough fuel yesterday, so gave it. Didn't have a head gasket yesterday, but that last race went really, really well. So,
and also now you're part of the committee in the HQ club. So how are you finding that?
Vice president. So really enjoy it. Really enjoy it. A lot to learn too. And one of the things I wanted to do with vice president was to learn more about the learn more about cams and the racetracks and how we can build opportunities for the category, and how we can do Bathurst and we can do all those events that is bucket list stuff for a lot of us guys. So that's really the main reason why I joined.
Well, mate, I'll let you get in the car. Just been called up to good luck in the last race, trophy race. All the best. Hope you have a good finish, and keep it civil, mate.
I'll keep it in the black stuff, mate. Don't worry about
That's
that.
it.
Thanks, mate.
All right, take it easy.
Yeah, thanks for that.
So we just quick prompt there. So we caught up with those guys, and that was pretty much the race 2, leading out to race 3.
That's it, race 3. What a race for Jason Mull. We've already spoken about him a lot, but it was a brilliant race. Got through it, opened a gap, dropped the wheels off at the fishhook, which none of us saw, so did it really happen? All of us were surprised when we spoke to him after the race, and he said, "Oh yeah, I thought I'd fluffed it when I dropped it off at the fishhook." So that was interesting. Great drive back through the field for a couple of drivers as well, and also a major milestone in HQ Racing New South Wales with Chris Buckley reaching 150 race starts.
100. That's not a bad effort.
Pretty incredible effort considering you got 15 races a year. So on average, 10 years effectively running HQs.
Yeah, definitely. Chris Buckley, Bucko, as we all call him, Bucko. He, having 150 starts, he was proud of it. He's been actually a great person for HQ Racing. He's been part of the committee for a number of years. He's won a few championships. He's an out-and-out racer, but he's an out-and-out generally nice guy. So everyone loves to have a beer with him after the race at the Astar, which is a normal thing we do down at Goulburn there. So, so congratulations to him. We had some good performances. Dave Allen was up there, and a few times he come off, and he had a pretty good weekend. Dave Bruglio,
wow, that was a great weekend, wasn't
it? Great weekend for him. Out of nowhere. Nothing.
It feels like it was out of nowhere because he's been running, mid-pack, bottom of the top 10 for the last few years, and then all of a sudden here he is knocking on the door of the podium. And it was great in the final race actually because you had Cambridge, Proglio, no, not Cambridge, you had Proglio, Deering fighting so hard for that last podium spot, and then you had people like Scott Walker, who probably, if he had a bit more time, would have got to them.
But Deering was actually putting pressure on
Deering
Osborne.
had just been battling with Osborne. So
Chris had cleared out in the first lap.
Yeah.
He only got the 100-metre gap in the first lap, which is unheard of for that. So, like I said, I don't know if there was something wrong with Brett's car there, but give credit where credit's due, mate. Chris cleared out, and then Brett was on the defence from Glenn Deering and Proglio. They were switching and switching, and then Scotty Walker come from nowhere, and he done really well.
Yeah.
Luke Harrison was doing a great job too, coming from the rear of the field. From his first DNF in first race.
Yeah.
In race 2, he ended up finished at 5th. So he was doing really well until again in race 3, then Dwayne Cambridge and Luke Harrison coming together off the straight. And for some reason, I don't know what happened. I didn't get the rundown.
I spoke to Cambridge after that one, and I think they both just felt that they weren't having a great day and decided to
pull it in.
Probably just pull in time and regroup for the next round. I mean, HQ racing isn't about making contact, so the guys take it to heart when they do make contact, even when it's accidental, which is probably one of the great things about the category, because accidental contact between drivers has consequences in their own minds, not just race control. So that keeps everybody honest. They like to keep the cars clean. We like to keep the cars going out straight. Yeah. And all the committee does a lot of hard work behind the scenes to make sure that everybody is getting to every round, doing everything they do. And that's why the numbers are so strong in New South Wales at the moment as well. So, I mean, I know every other category works just as hard to be able to keep those HQs out there. So, you know, it's a credit to everyone around the nation with what's happening with how many cars there are. And there should be some great things along the way. The Nationals this year are probably going to be big. But before we move on to that, we should probably take a look at the interview you did.
I was just about to mention, Glenn Deering had a fairly good weekend. You know, it's good to see him
chat.
back. You know, he raced most of the year last year, I believe, and he's given it a good crack this year, finishing third in the first and in third race. I believe he finished sixth, and he finished third in the first race. But mate, one of the characters of the sport. He's a great bloke. If anyone gets a chance to sit down and have a chat with Glenn Deering, mate. It's great, but always make sure you take a beer with you.
And Wayne got the opportunity to do just that.
I'm going to have a quick chat with Glenn Deering, aka Albie Mangles. Mate, as I see, again, car looks in fine form with dints all over it again. Seems to be up to your old tactics again.
Look, it's not my fault. I just drive straight. Everyone runs into me.
Yes. Oh, now I hear you got a great sponsor on Wingman, which is a great thing to have. But I haven't seen the product in my hand as yet. Is there a reason for this?
Yes, well, I think the photography staff should probably not drink it because, you know, they're a bit dodgy on their lenses as they go now, I reckon.
So you're saying that our photography and videography is as like your driving, dodgy?
Shaky, yeah.
Shaky. At best.
Yeah,
all right.
Yeah. But fast.
Well, you like to think so.
You do too.
Yeah, I can't catch up. But then again, I'm not in a car anymore, so...
Well, hopefully you might get back one day.
One day. All right, all the best for the race 3.
Thank you very much, Wayne.
Try and keep a straight panel on there. I think the roof's the only thing that's straight at the moment.
No, I think the bonnet's straight. That's where the Wingman logo is, so we'll try and keep that straight for the race.
Fair enough. Well, there you go. The Wingman car, the Wingman driver. I think all he needs is wings. Here we go, back again. So...
Taking a look at the New South Wales point scorers, we've got the points available to us. It's Brett Osborne who leads the way on 146 points. Now, you get 50 points for a race victory, 48 for second, and so on and so forth down the order. So that shows you that he wasn't able to get a complete full round, but Chris Mole, 142, 4 points behind. And I think that's been the story of Osborne's championships in the past. When he doesn't have a great round, everyone else has a slightly worse round, so he doesn't lose out all the time. Dave Proglio next in 132. Glenn Deering with him on 132. Dave Allen, 110. Jason Johnston, great start for him, 104. Dwayne Cambridge, 84. Tristan Walds, 82. Jason Mole, 80. And Matt Barker on 76. So a bit to play for there for a few people. And then the rest of the field, they're pretty close together up until about 16th with Pedro, who's probably a little bit out of it at this stage. If he has a really good round and everyone else doesn't, it sort of might get him back in there, but that low may well not. But it's good to see like your top 6 are really within a race result of each other, which is good to see as we head on into round 2. Again, April 6th and 7th out at Sydney Motorsport Park. be great racing, always producing great racing for the HQ Holdens. The fast-flowing nature of the circuit, a bit like Phillip Island in that sense. It really promotes the drafting.
And hopefully the numbers will increase.
That's it.
You know, I think we'll get 25 plus cars there, so that's not too far away. So moving on, let's go right over the other side
WA.
to the WA. They had a great meeting on the 2nd of March weekend, and they raced at where was it? Oh, bugger. Barbagallo, that's it.
Barbagallo.
And they had good numbers, 18 cars, which is not too bad over there. They normally do a little bit more. Again, but it fluctuates around there. So again, qualifying was pretty good. Geez, the time wasn't too far off. Again, same thing. Top 6 to 7 cars. Yeah, 7 cars within a second of each other. Michael Woodbridge and Michael Howlett. Those two guys were within 100ths of a second. So great to see the great the qualifying there. So that was pretty good. And moving on to race 1, we had Mark Watkins take out the race. So and not by much, but he did have the quickest lap time of that race. So that was good. The Goodyear Auto Care Mark Watkins car, and then the network carriers.
Races, aren't they?
Yeah, short races, only 5 laps, but it is what it is over there. I think they had 4 races there, so they have actually a 10-round championship over there.
Yeah.
So their next round, I'll get to that a bit later, but so you had Michael Howlett and Rory Sharp and Wade Hadley. So he rounded out the top 4 in race 1. So the racing's good over there. Like I said, 18 cars. We had 2 DNFs there, so that was something that unfortunately got no footage or anything like that. But if you guys from WA want to send us anything for the next time, we'll be happy to oblige and put it on, and that'll be fantastic. Michael Woodbridge bounced back and takes the win. Mark Watkins second, and then Michael Howlett third. So it looks like those 3 guys were pretty dominant over the weekend.
Yep.
And and that was in the race too. So again, Adam Butler, Christopher Ainscough, I think that's how you pronounce it. So they, these guys are, it's good to see so many cars there. Again,
we see a bit of Howlett over here at different times for different events. So a few of them do travel over to the East Coast for the Nationals.
The Howlett family, definitely the Howlett family is.
I think Watkins has been over a couple of times.
Yeah.
Just thinking about it.
And obviously Wade Hadley, had a DNF, so that wouldn't have been good for his championship. But it is what it is. Michael Howlett this time on race 3 got up. Mark Watkins second again. So and Michael Woodbridge. So and Wade Hadley's come from obviously towards the back. Wade Hadley, I should say. He's come and he's taken out 4th spot. So that's good. That's pretty good racing.
Race at Wanneroo.
Oh yeah, so that's not too bad.
And they were racing on a brand new surfacing over there too. First time on the surface.
Exactly right.
Resurfaced over the summer break. So that'll be interesting for HQ races and other races around the nation to maybe get over there and have a run HQ Nationals in a couple of years' time. I
actually drove over that way for a competitor. I helped him out, take his car over and drove over to Western Australia, went the Nullarbor, and it is a fantastic drive. It's a massive drive to go for a race. They had the national titles over there, 2010, and they just had the national titles not long ago, a couple of years ago. So great place. Western Australia's beautiful. It's just it's a shame it's just so far. We loved our time over there last year to get some of the categories, and the HQs put on some great racing as well that we got to enjoy. So it's always a good time. If you get a chance, get out to Barbagallo or Collie Motorplex and have a watch of some of the WA racing. It's just as good as what we see around the rest of the nation, even though it's so isolated, unfortunately. It's just been hard to get to. It is what it is. And then race 4, Mark Watkins up. Yeah, so swap positions. He's sick of coming second, I suppose. So decided to take a victory. But I look at the times there, he won by a good 2 seconds, so that must have been a good pleasing result for him. Yeah. Michael Howlett again 3rd. Rory Sharp was up there. Wade Hadley again. Headley, finishes 4th. And Ryan Davis, Michael Woodbridge dropped away to 6th. Then you had Dennis Russell, Steve West, Adam Butler, and rounding out the top 10 was Mark Alfonsi. There you go. That sounds like a cool name, doesn't it? Very interesting. So there's the Western Australia. The next round will be over at Collie Motorplex, and that's on the 30th of March. And you got Mark Watkins is on top of the table at 90 points, Michael Howlett 83, Rory Sharp 66, and Michael Woodbridge in 4th spot on 64 points on the Western Australian Championship. So that's a good way to wrap of them. Start the first round of their 10-round thing, and they have an enduro. So
yeah, they have an under lights race night meeting as well. They have a night meeting at Barbagallo, I think.
Yeah, they have a 10 round, an enduro, and they also a couple of the guys make their way over this side for the national title. So
then also New South Wales has just announced that they're going to have an enduro round on the 1st of June at Sydney Motorsport Park. It's on the Facebook page, so maybe get some details on that one and try to get out there and have an endurance race. Victoria, who we're about to talk to about, always end the year with the HQ 4 hour as well.
That is a great
4 hour,
event.
great 2 days of racing. We've been down there many times with Blendline TV to be able to cover it. Always good 2 days. Quite a strenuous event actually, a lot harder than you would think to get through 2 full days in the HQ, but those guys put on a great show. But having a look at HQ Victoria, GMG Automotive sponsored round 1 for them. Ferntree Gully Motor Group, Tyre Power also on board for the season. So some good sponsors down there looking after them. We've got a package of a couple of pictures from the round that they had on their Facebook page to be able to show you some of what happened here. And we've got a bit of a race recap.
Yeah, Andy McLeod takes pole on qualifying, and then race 1. Well, Raymond Jardine got a great start and pulled away, and pretty much was one of the most dominating drivers there was over the weekend. But Andy McLeod, I had a little chat with Andy, and he gave me a bit of a rundown on the way everything was going. So that was good. Have a go at the picture of that. Look at the shape. Look at the balance of that car. So. Wow. But yeah, so Raymond Jardine took out race 1. And then you had Andrew McLeod and Jake Beckers. Now, Jake Beckers is new to a sport. I believe it's
Harry Becker's
son. Yeah, so doing great things. Ryan Woods was right up there, and Glenn McDonald was the top 5 in race 1. Great tussle. Only numbers probably weren't as good as they'd like, I'd say. 13 numbers, only 14 cars or so, 15 cars or so. So probably not as good. Probably the biggest note, John Wise didn't do too good, and I mean, Wisey's a character. He's a great bloke. If anyone gets a chance to catch up with him, he's an old rocker, and he's a great bloke.
And then the second race, Ray Jardine was able to come through and be able to take. Andrew McLeod took the race win in the second race.
Yeah.
And then Ray Jardine was able to get through for second place. Jake Becker's coming along for third, so good race for him as well. Staying up there in the top 3, which is good to see. And I mean, now they've got the Class B championship as well, so that helped him out. And then race 3, Jardine back to the top.
Jardine back to the top. I was speaking to Andy McLeod, and he said there was a few little things there that made the race interesting.
Did weather hit that meeting?
No, I don't believe so. But I'll tell you one thing, it was difficult for him because Melbourne doesn't get a lot of heat down there, as you know, in racing. Although they were racing in nearly 40 degrees, so imagine what inside the car was. And these guys, these are old HQ Holdens, so hats off to the guys. They've done a really good job. Maybe the weather played a little bit on getting cars on track, and but one DNF out of that race, which wasn't too bad. So when you look at it over the heat, John Wise come back up into the 5th, Andy McLeod, Raymond Jardine, Jake Beckers again 3rd, and Glenn McDonald there. But apparently some really, really good close racing. Again, I'm sorry guys, we don't have any footage, but just got some photos. So bear with us for next time. Hopefully we'll have a lot more for you guys. But then we go to the trophy race in race 3. And Jardine got through, got back, and takes the win. And he took the win by a good second there, so there might have been a little bit of a gap, but Mr. Consistency, Mr. McLeod's there.
Andrew McLeod is a very hard man to beat at Sandown. Notorious for having a very strong engine and straight line speed, and I've seen him take a fair few race victories at Sandown, so hard to beat down there. But it's good to see these guys having such a strong tussle for the start of their season as well. Hopefully it'll continue to build. They've had good numbers down in Victoria before, and I don't doubt that they'll have them again. Probably should call out people like Stephen White to get back out racing.
Oh look, there was a couple of noticeables.
Go on, Steve.
There's a couple of noticeables missing. Normally the Heinrichs will go down there, but Joel, we haven't even mentioned Joel.
I was going to say,
Joel Heinrich has stepped up. He won the Aussie cars last year. Now he stepped up into a Super 2 car from a HQ Racing. He's a young bloke going places, so good on him. And also good on Osborne Transport getting behind him and sponsoring him, helping him out there to achieve his dreams. Becoming maybe a full-time race driver in years to come. So let's see how we go.
Stepping stones.
Jake Beckers is, like I said, new to the sport, I believe, and he's had three thirds in the play, and it's, you know, he wasn't far off. He was a good second and a half in the last race, and it's spread out over that last race, but it is what it is. And HQ racing is never boring. No. That is one thing I can always say. If you ever get to a track and watch HQs, there's always a battle somewhere. So that's the best part of our sport, and we love it. So the championship, there we can let you know the points were Ray Jardine's now on 520, Andy McLeod this is all Division 1, sorry. Ray Jardine's 520, Andy McLeod 515, Glenn McDonald 457. Jake Becker's in Division 2, so it just goes to show you he's fairly new. Even if they have a rookie, I dare say he'd be on fire there. Jake Becker's at 495, and Ryan Woods 470, and Rod Ververt, I think it's, I hope I spelled that, I apologise if I've got that wrong, he's on 402. The next round for the HQs, the FT Gully Motor Group HQs, is at Phillip Island on the 4th and 5th of May. So everyone get down there.
Great racing track.
They have a 6th round championship, and if you need any details, you can get on their website. It's hqracingvic.org, or you can contact it on their Facebook page, or I believe Andy McLeod's still part of their committee, so you can jump on board and get on there.
And to make sure to get all the information about the New South Wales HQ Holdens, make sure to check out New South Wales HQ Holdens, of course, long-time supporters of us and everything we've been doing. So good to have them around and being able to get to every meeting this year to be able to bring you content. We'll have some previews and some reviews as well. Hopefully get a few drivers in, maybe even do a few phone hookups with different drivers around the nation if we get a chance. And also just a quick plug for the HQ Nationals, which this year will be at Tail and Bend, September 15th, if that's correct.
15th, 16th. So
15th, 15th. So make sure to check out the South Australian category for that one. I think you go through South Australian. If you
have a look at the HQRA website, it'll give you all the prices, the expression of interest. You can print out this expression of interest form, fill that out, get it into them, and you're on your way to getting into the Nationals titles, which will no doubt be defended by Brett Osborne. Not many people have raced this track, so it's a pretty open weekend. It'll be a pretty open weekend. The Victorian guys will be very strong. I dare say Bruce Heinrich will come back for this one as well. You got some of the HQ guys from South Australia who haven't started their season yet. They'll be pretty good, even though their numbers aren't the best at the moment. But the Queensland guys, we haven't even mentioned the Queensland guys because they haven't started either. So
Weeks away.
Just letting you guys know that if you guys want HQ Extra to cover some of your weekends, rounds, please don't hesitate to let us know. Get in contact with us. We can bring a camera up there. But most of all, contact Blendline TV, because Blendline TV gives the HQs the greatest coverage there is for our sport. And I believe that a couple of states that aren't on board yet, hopefully they are. If not, like I said, get in touch with Daniel here and he'll work out a package. We are looking for a sponsor for this show, so if you've got something that you want to offer, please do so. That'd be fantastic. It's not easy getting around.
Hard sell.
Oh well, you know, it is what it is. We do it off our own bat. I don't make any money out of doing this, so I do it for the love of it, and I love the sport. I love the people in it, and so if anyone wants us there, please get in contact with us. So Daniel.
Well, we've got a quick outro as well to play for everyone. Wayne had a great time during the pits. Having a bit of interruption from some of the PA that was going on. So there's an outro to play through. We'll try to find it on our piece before we get out of here tonight and finish up this HQ Extra show. We know that the back wall doesn't have the correct HQ attire on it. We're going to be working on that. This, of course, is our Blendline TV live set for Wednesday nights, 8 PM for the world of Australian motorsport. So we take a look at all of the state racing all the way around, and we will, I think, bail out of playing that piece because we haven't been able to find it in the room. So we're going to have to put that one on HQ Extra for everybody to play the outtakes.
Thank God for that. But you know, it just goes to show you, if there's something could go wrong, it does. So what you don't see is all the outtakes, but there is a couple.
So thanks for joining us on this first show. We'll be back probably next week, hopefully. If not, a couple of weeks' time. Keep an eye out on the HQ Extra page for more. Till then, I'm Daniel. This is Wayne.
And as I say, if it ain't pinging, keep it singing.